Usu! What's up guys, my name is Jake Shao and today it seems like I'm going to be touching up upon if Yuki Tsukumo was a wasted character. So a lot of people in the fandom right now, in the Jujutsu Kaisen community, have been saying that Yuki Tsukumo is a wasted character due to what's happened in the last chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen. But is that really true, or is everyone overreacting? But that's what we're going to actually look at today. And what does it mean for the rest of the story of Jujutsu Kaisen? If you haven't already, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and now let's go over Yuki and whether she was wasted or not. So to start off with Yuki and Kenjaku, it seems like they were in quite a bit of a fight. And the reason that this fight was very important is because it was the first time Yuki ever fought in Jujutsu Kaisen for us to see. And we also wonder why she's a special grade. Now Kenjaku had a phrase for what a special grade is, a definition in fact. And the definition was that if the person is able to take down a whole country, that is what makes them a special grade. So seeing these two people put in the same bracket kind of makes you wonder what can they do and how is the fight really going to end. Now within the chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen 208, Yuki is hit in the belly with a blast of a mini Uzumaki that was hidden by Kenjaku. It was a strategy he used, that's why he brought out the cursed spirit and baited her in the process, because she thought it was actually to hide the fact that he had the gravity interval, but it was just to hide the mini Uzumaki. So in the process of her getting baited, we then see her give her farewells to Choso. And it kind of then showed you like a foreshadowing that she was going to lose in a way, because she was basically telling Choso that why would you die, there's no point of dying, especially if you need to look after Yuji. You said that you need to be there for him, yet you want to sacrifice yourself. And that's because he doesn't feel like he's lived a life of a human, he's lived a life as a curse and he needs to redeem himself. And that is why he ended up crying, because he feels like he's left Yuji alone and it's been all a total disappointment. And as an older brother, that is very respectable. That's why Yuki tells him to leave the curse behind, die as a curse, and continue to live on as a human. And that is when he gets sucked in by Tengen. Now the overarching problem is that she pretty much accepted their fate and understood the complexities that was about to happen, pretty much knowing that she was about to die. Because part of the plan with Tengen and Yuki was most likely that Tengen was going to be there as a distraction if Yuki looked like she was about to get killed. And that is what exactly it was. In the next panel you see Yuki's body absolutely split in half. Now this is where everyone goes crazy, because you see this and say there's no way we lost so much from Yuki Tsukumo. I thought there was so much things she wanted to accomplish, wanted to do. And that is why everyone begins to get upset. But then out of nowhere you do see Tengen come out as a distraction for Yuki to be able to use the black hole, meaning that her density, she can use it to the fullest of his ability and the whole world would have been engulfed if it was not for Tengen helping with the barrier. And I think what makes everyone upset is the fact that she also died, her body is gone, and Kenjaku still survived. Now Kenjaku surviving is probably not an issue, but it's the fact that Yuki also left in the process. So her using the black hole was basically a self-destruction move to be able to get out of the situation, meaning that she's pretty much dead. I think there's two sides to every story. People are upset at the fact that Yuki died, but some people were also upset at the fact that Jujutsu Kaisen was going too easy. In terms of everyone was surviving, there was no issues, everything looked like it was good and dandy. Especially during the Culling games, no one took an L. And then because of that, everyone was happy and no one was complaining. But in terms of the fandom, everyone was complaining about that. Everyone was complaining that everyone was still alive. Now that Gege decided to kill a couple of people, or decided to kill Yuki in this case, it does seem like everyone's riled up. But I understand, and I agree. Yuki had a lot of potential. Yuki was seen as somebody that was meant to change the Jujutsu world forever, and that is what we thought to be part of the process, as to being able to solve the Jujutsu sorcerer's problems, having to kill themselves in the process of exercising curses. And they didn't want to meet that inevitable fate that Geto's so scared of even seeing. And having that much potential, having that much stripped away, and her not even getting to experiment on Maki Zenin, who has now have zero curse energy, to now get further to her end goal, is why people are kind of upset. So you do have to kind of understand why people say that they're disappointed. it doesn't mean that it's bad writing, it doesn't mean that it's terrible, but they're disappointed because they believe that she was going to be something more than what she was. And also her first time being a special grade sorcerer, she didn't really get to fully display the skills that people thought she was going to be able to display. While being able to control the amount of mass that you output is impressive and very interesting. In fact, people expected her to do more physically to be able to compete with Kenjaku. For two people to be special grade, it was kind of felt like a one-sided fight, and that is why some people are upset about it. Now you have to remember, Kenjaku is a man who has 1,000 years of experience against someone who we've never even seen fight before but then revealed her technique. She probably would have had a better standing if it wasn't for Tengen saying that he's going to help, and then in the process kind of messed up sealing the domain expansion fast and made her damage from the beginning. Now, this is where you have to realize what Jujutsu Kaisen is. We already knew from the Shibuya arc that anyone could die, anyone could get packed up. It didn't matter if you were a grandma, a kid, you could lose. And the whole overall problem is the fact that Jujutsu Kaisen has now done it when it was a character that people anticipated, which is why everyone's upset. But it's nothing new of what is in the show. In the show, it's been consistent that you could die at any time. And just because it wasn't at the time that you wanted to, doesn't mean you should interpret it as bad writing or interpret it as Jujutsu Kaisen fell off, etc, etc. I feel like that's a very narrow-minded to look at the anime, and you can critique that yes, you didn't like it, but just because it wasn't what you thought it was going to happen doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. Because if we're being honest, a lot of people predicted Choso was going to die in this situation while Yuki's able to survive. And that just went against what you wanted to happen and you are upset about it. Doesn't that just show it's not a predictable manga? The spontaneous, unimaginable things happening and you being surprised, isn't that part of the shock value? Because when you look at Yuki doing the black hole, that almost defeated Kenjaku in the process and almost engulfed the whole world, doesn't that kind of make you happy that something such as that has proved why she is a special grade? And not only that, we're able to see the conclusion of how Kenjaku was able to use gravity in the first place, and being able to see that it's from Yuji Itadori's mom in particular. Like, why is she a sorcerer? There's a lot of questions that you could ask, and I think there are questions that actually help in the process. But questions such as, well, we're going to see a domain expansion. Gegeo Kutame has already shown us time and time again that he doesn't care about if you don't see the domain expansion. Example Yuta Okotsu, and example Hanami, who basically wasn't able to do it and died in the process, and we're never going to see that domain expansion. So my point is, the unpredictability part definitely has a part to play in all of this, and things that you think are going to happen that goes against your wishes is not a problem. You know, that's how life is. Now all I'm saying is, people have the right to be disappointed at the chapter because Yuki is someone that they like and they didn't get to see them flourish in their goals and what they wanted to do. And I don't know about you guys, but I had a satisfying end to the chapter because there's a lot of things I didn't know was going to happen, as unpredictable as the black hole, unpredictable that Tengen and Kenjaku are friends, and the fact that Tengen is actually going to lose and Kenjaku is going to be the winner. Kenjaku has won. So yeah, I think there's more things that we could look at to see the positive light of this chapter. In the chapter overall is a banging chapter. If you take away the death of Yuki without doing this and doing this and doing this, I still think the chapter did amazing. And anyway, that is just my thoughts. The Choso part, everything beautiful. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. If you haven't already, make sure you leave a like. Tell me what you think down below, if you're disappointed, if you're happy or whatever. And yeah, man, as I said to the new and old people that come and visit my channel, Jana.